We're starting Wake and Jake with some Furnace Alpha from 6
Let's
mil.
go, 6 mil Furnace Alpha.
Get the cheap filters, but replace them often. Fancier filters can hamper the flow. Gotta have that flow. Gotta have it.
All about the flow, baby.
Well, we're going to flow right into our sort of first topic here. Before we cover the stuff for this week and what we're getting into, I want to kind of recap from last week, and we'll kind of just get some closure on that. So we spent half of the episode last week talking about the Bitcoin ETF, what it means, how we're preparing for it, how we're going to plan accordingly. So I want to kind of touch on that, see if it lived up to expectations or if we were kind of surprised by how that went down. And I got a couple headlines here just to kind of, I think, summarize the story. Before it went live, Bloomberg projected $4 billion of inflow for the Bitcoin ETF, $4 billion. And 2 days after it had opened, there's reported $819 million of inflow. So definitely short of the mark there. And then of that, that flow in and out, Grayscale's ETF witnessed an outflow of $579 million. So I'm kind of puzzled. Definitely not what I expected personally. It almost seems like the opposite of what we kind of thought. It sounds like we were the exit liquidity for Grayscale in just a bit there. But Jake, I wanted to get your thoughts, man. How did it play out? Did you have a long? Did you secure a bag? Are you surprised by these inflows and outflows? What are your thoughts here on the Bitcoin ETF and how it played out?
Yeah, man. Welcome in, y'all. Wild week. First of all, awesome that it even got approved in the first place. I know that was still like a question mark to some people, but just the fact that we were able to get a Bitcoin ETF approved in the United States is a pretty big milestone. Just the fact long term that we can, have institutional money flows into our bags themselves, buying our bags for us, being able to allocate, inside of like a trading portfolio and inside at a brokerage money towards Bitcoin is pretty awesome. The way that we're able to do that now. So, really big milestone. I think it really opens up a lot of buy pressure over the long term. I know we are touching on short term here, but it is wonderful development for the long term aspect of the price, I should say, of Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin's the leader, and it trickles down to the rest of the market, right? So, pretty awesome. Going on your topic, we had obviously a pump going into the news. We had the fake out the absolutely hilarious series of events where the SEC Twitter got hacked, tweeted out, and then Gary said it was not in fact hacked. So we had to pump and then a subsequent dump, and then I think it was almost like the market tipping its hand when that happened, showing I guess what was going to happen when it does actually get approved for real. And then so people ended up kind of front running that, where they bought a lot of stuff up. ETH was the winner, where markets are always forward looking. And so with Bitcoin being done, then attention turns to ETH, with that being the next ETF that has already been filed for from a lot of these big firms. I think the first day that the SEC has to make a decision on one of these filings, I believe, is in May of this year. So again, market's looking forward now to the ETH stuff. Unfortunately, the market as a whole has since dumped since then. But I think that kind of we can talk about this a little more later. But I think that kind of opens up a lot of opportunity if Bitcoin does chop from here, ETH chops from here. I think that does open up a lot of opportunity for altcoins, shitcoins, NFTs. When the majors are not the ones leading the way, then we get some nice activity in the degen streets, in liquidity as well. So yeah, I think as far as inflows, outflows, I've been trying to track this a bit. It seems their data is has been super delayed, so I haven't really looked over the weekend on this stuff. But I believe a lot of the outflow stuff in the Grayscale is that it's just such like an inferior product, the Grayscale Trust, and like people are selling out of that to get into the ETF now because it's like a lot cheaper, basically.
Yeah, that's a really good shout. Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. Yeah, that's a really good shout. It's an inferior product. This is what they wanted to be buying back then. Instead, they got stuck with the Grayscale stuff. So now that it's sort of out there in the open market, yeah, it makes total sense that people are going to want to cash out and jump ship, realize those losses.
Yeah, at the same time, we're also getting a lot of Celsius. The big, I think they were an exchange, Celsius, but they have a lot of holdings and went bankrupt, and they have to sell basically all their holdings, use their deposits and stuff. And there's been a lot of selling from them, forced selling this past week too. That's had an impact on price, hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's just kind of combo those things. I think it's just like in my opinion, I see it as kind of like a momentary chop season where there's a good amount of sell pressure for right now in the short term, but on these majors like ETH and Bitcoin, that I think the attention's just going to shift into the altcoin narrative, and those are always super fun. I think those are kind of where our wheelhouse is in MVHQ. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for us here coming up.
Absolutely, yeah. Always looking forward to see what's next, what the next move is going to be. So I guess naturally, the next question, when Ethereum ETF, right?
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad you brought up the Gary tweet stuff too. Like we talk about it, obviously we were all talking about it while it was happening and stuff. But yeah, to talk about it on the show, man, that shit was so wonky. It felt like a skit from like a reality TV show or like The Office or something. You know what I mean? Just the Gary tweets and the hacks. Like God, man, you couldn't have wrote it to be any weirder or just like cringier. But yeah, roller coaster of emotions. Obviously, a roller coaster on the charts too, just in reaction to that information as it happened live. But yeah, very weird scenario. I mean, we talked about it last week too. Just the games institutions play. I don't think this one was in the playbook. The whole it's Twitter's fault. Crazy. Really wild to see that from just a major financial institution. But hey, just proof we're living in a simulation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, pretty insane to see. It's just funny, man. It's almost like we've just been through so much of this stuff that it doesn't even surprise me anymore. Like this kind of shit that happens. It's just like, okay, this is crypto. I mean, but it also at the same time, it's like, man, I wouldn't want to work in an industry, any other industry, because we just have so much fun with shit just going awry, and we're just so used to it that we kind of just take it on the chin and just keep going,
Totally. Yeah, there was like zero panic. It was all just amusement because we're so just battle scarred and seasoned at this point that, yeah, nothing really freaks us out. It's just like, are you kidding me? Wild. All right, cool. Well, we can kind of wrap up the ETF talk and we can sort of move into topics for this week, stuff that we're looking at. First thing that I wanted to bring up, this was a pretty big announcement, news item from the other day. And that's the Azuki update. They dropped a video, really cool video. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But also just some explainers on how they're going forward with their token, the anime token, and also their collector score and how they're sort of factoring in holders of their project and how they're going to be rewarded here down the line. I was curious if, I want to hear your thoughts first, Jake, Mr. Azuki, PFP, Maxi, Whale. I want to hear your thoughts first, and then, if anybody else has any other thoughts about Azuki and the anime token and just sort of the roadmap update that they posted, I'd love to chop that up here and just hear everybody's thoughts.
Yeah, pretty sick video. I would not consider myself an Azuki Maxi anymore. I was at one time, but they've beaten me down enough to where I no longer claim that title, and I've sold off a lot of my Azuki assets. I really honestly only have this one Azuki left, and then like a couple other, I think like elemental beans and stuff. But I mean, with this announcement, I've been thinking about acquiring more. I think, obviously a token is always fun. Always a good liquidity event. The video was sick. I just posted it in VC link dump. That's we'll continue to post throughout the show. Relevant links and stuff to what we're talking about. The show looks sweet. I think they have the firepower. And I think what Azuki does best is I think they know like what's cool, right? I feel like they can execute to a level, to like a very, I guess, compete at a level to these other like tier 1 brands with their content creation, and I think that's where they really excel, and the anime series is probably the perfect route for them. I'm not exactly sure how a token is gonna be implemented into the ecosystem, how that all plays together with the NFTs, and I'm not sure how they're gonna go that route. I feel like I've seen other projects who go the media route struggle to provide value for their holders. We'll see. I think we're kind of still waiting on more information in that route. Personally, I think right now Azuki assets, if I had to guess, I'd say they're relatively undervalued. I think as people like realize that there's going to be a token airdrop for all these different assets in the system, that they'll probably appreciate over time as we get more and more information, and as they announce dates for stuff and all that. So sorry, man. This I need to like turn off pings for this Discord because it feels like someone just leaving and joining constantly.
Oh yeah, that's alpha. Yeah, settings, audio, and then just disable all notifications. We got a crowd gathering here, man. They want to hear what we have to say.
Anyway, I'm like I'd say cautiously optimistic. I feel like I feel pretty good. I think they're gonna execute on doing cool shit, but I don't know how that accrues value for holders other than a token. Obviously is based on speculation is going to be worth some money. So we'll see. I don't have any like strong hot takes on that. Would love to hear if the community has any maybe alpha that they've heard on the side, or other analysis or opinions on that.
Well, I could start us off with a hot take. I mean, I'm just a sideline observer. I got shaken out of Azuki when the first, Vagabond FUD came out, or, he wasn't even FUD. He just straight up dropped a manifesto. It was like, I'm a rugger. And I was like, oh God, get me the fuck out of here. So I've just been, on the sidelines, just fuming every time that it pumps. Like a lot of people, I'm just, like, how can they keep getting away with it? That's me over here on the sideline. Just wondering, when the last leg is going to get chopped out from underneath them. I thought that was Azuki Elementals. I thought everyone finally realized, like, oh God, they're treating us horribly. They're going to keep doing this, keep extracting. But that doesn't seem to be the case. And I think, like you said, they do cool shit. That's probably the most frustrating part as an outside observer, is that it looks awesome. Everything looks really fucking cool. This trailer included looks amazing. But my hot take is just that tokens seem to be the final stage. It's the final boss for any project, right? Like once you've dropped the token and you've got the token out and everyone either made a lot or lost a lot on it, it's like, what now? That's usually where projects just sort of stagnate and fail to figure out a good use for their token, or whatever the case may be. They're not really able to provide the value anymore. It's almost like the big value delivery event. Maybe similar to something like ApeCoin. That's probably not a great analogy, but I think you guys know what I mean. It's just like once you've delivered the token, it's like, what are we doing now? But yeah, I'll start us off with that. And if anybody else wants to jump in, pro or anti Azuki, love to hear your all's thoughts.
Is it like Azuki's token for sure, or they're like getting an allocation of someone else's token? That's what I was confused about.
I have not seen any official announcements about them, being connected to that token. But it's almost like implied, based on them like retweeting that Web3 account. I think it's called Weeb3 is Weeb3 Studios or something like that. They retweeted the Twitter account. But basically, and that studio is going to have a token, right? So I mean, they need to basically from a different legal entity standpoint. I'm pretty sure is why they're doing it, to stay compliant in that way. But they haven't officially said anything about the token yet, which is also why I think, people are still hesitant. They don't want to fire off without knowing. But it seems like, based on that retweet, based on that studio that they retweeted, it seems like it's all like the exact same branding as Azuki as well. And the fact that they're doing this collector score thing, right, where they're doing it's basically like a point system on their website where, based on if you have like certain traits, certain like beans or elementals or Azukis, and if you combine the traits together, you get a different kind of collector score, and it like gives you a ranking and like your total score as well. I think all that combined and dropping at the same time really indicates that there's going to be a token, but they have not officially said this is our token.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, they're basically giving you, your collector score is, similar to Cool Cats, right? Where it tracks all of the different things and tokens that you have to give you a score, things that you've engaged with and whatnot. They've put out like a medium that goes over the different factors and stuff that they're calculating. Some of those being time held, community contributions, a diamond hand category, community badges. Yeah, they're sort of overhauling those, like the Azuki profile that they had on their website, just to accommodate more stuff that you've done, including community engagement and just like time held and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely feels like like an airdrop point token, like a token counter type deal. But yeah, well said, Jake. Just that nothing has been officially confirmed. It's just, you can kind of put the pieces together and we can assume. So we do speculate on everything. So yeah, I would say, 100% pretty much 99% chance that that's what this is for. Of course, they've surprised us before. They could surprise us again, but doesn't hurt to speculate and plan accordingly.
I think the sort of number go up effect of the point system they released recently has really driven some of the current holders to reassess what they have and potentially buy more stuff. And so I like systems like that. Like you said, the Cool Cat system, I think, inspires some of that as well. But I like that Jake said that it's tricky to figure out how to get an animated series to directly translate into value for holders. These series take a long time to make. And I don't think it's like the holders are going to get like a rev share of some kind of like deal that they might land to sell their content. I think it's more of like a marketing piece, an onboarding piece to grow brand awareness. And so it's good, but it's not necessarily a direct like, yay, we're going to make money from this. And so I think that we get hype about the storytelling, but look for other aspects of their roadmap to maybe bring more direct value to the holders.
Yeah, it's kind of like Pudgy selling merch, right? Where like you want Pudgy to make money, you want there to be cool merch, and it's like there's a lot of kind of second hand value, but you're not making money from them selling it directly.
Yeah, good Web3 business does not necessarily translate to good profit for Web3 investors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Hell, I'd say take it a step further and say the anime industry as a whole is not generating much value for the industry. I mean, we've seen so many studios implode and just go bankrupt in 2023. The entire industry is struggling. It's not a moneymaker. I mean, I guess it is for the people at the very tip top, but yeah, a lot of really bad working conditions and just studios that bit off more than they could chew on stuff. So yeah, it's a very expensive endeavor. Yes, this is a very good shout. It's good things to think through. Just how does it create value? Does it create any value for holders at all? And if it is it monetary value? Is it just brand awareness value? All very good points. All right, we can keep it moving. Honestly, I thought there'd be more Azuki haters. I thought people would be ready and fired up to jump in here and throw stones, but it's all good. It's all good. Time heals, right?
We've got another hate out already.
You know that there's not much left to hate on. It's just like, what? They're still going. Okay.
Sorry, THC, before we move on, I want to kind of take a step back. Because we didn't really do a proper intro to the show. Just want to, with it being the second one, so everyone understands kind of format and goal. Just want to go over that real quick. With Wake and Jake, it's really, what we're trying to do with the show is basically be a bit of an open forum where we touch on, the upcoming topics of this week mainly, but also just going forward in the market, touch on what's hot right now. We want to be able to deliver value to you guys. And I thought this is, kind of the best way of doing that in a show format where we could really, give actual info and analysis on everything that's going on, upcoming in the space, so you can get ready for it, right? So you can be prepared, and at the same time get some action going in voice hangout chat. So we want you guys to hop in on the conversation as well. You guys, anyone's welcome to join us here and give their analysis, give their opinions on whatever topic that we're going to talk about. We have like a structured things that we have set up, that we're going to go over, and THC and I will give our little takes too. But we love to hear from you guys too. We want to get the community involved in this chat. So please, feel free to hop in. We want to keep it, we have a format, but we all, at the same time, we want to keep it pretty casual too, and have it be, pretty similar to like a normal voice hangout chat session with everyone. We want to get back to that 2021 bull market vibes, because the market's back too, baby. So we want to get MVHQ back, to that same spot as well. So, and one other thing is that none of what we say is financial advice. Always have to have that disclaimer in there. We're just simply giving our own analysis and opinions. Everyone needs to do their own research and make their own decisions as well.
Yes, sir. My apologies. Yeah, great intro and sort of context for the show. Yeah, apologies. What a bad host I am. I didn't take anyone's jackets. I didn't offer anybody drinks. I just jumped straight into the party.
You're just ready to get into it, which I love.
Yeah, I was just excited, man. Yeah. Okay. So great call. Yeah, more than welcome to jump in, everybody. If you have any thoughts or opinions, you don't need to be an expert. Very few of us here are. We're just sort of giving our thoughts and opinions. So yeah, feel free to jump in and do that as well, like Jake just said.
And if you're not wanting to jump in on voice, feel free to chat and voice hangout chat. We'll be monitoring that. If you have any questions or opinions or anything, we'll be looking at voice hangout chat as well.
Yes, sir. Looking at voice hangout chat right now, and I'm seeing some questions and conversation about our next topic. So this is perfect. We were actually going to talk about Ninja Alerts mint. This is a mint for this week. It's actually tomorrow, I believe, tomorrow is mint. I think the snapshot has already been taken, I believe, but wanted to at least throw it out there. I know we've got some people that are close to the source there, that are in Ninja Alerts and MVHQ. We've got some people that are whitelisted and potentially even shilling it. So would love to hear any other thoughts or opinions, or just the lowdown on the collection and the mint tomorrow.
Yeah,
I would some resources as well. But yeah, Jacob, please take it away.
I would love to hear other people's opinions. I've been asking a lot of people about it just because I didn't really. I've been trying to dip my toes in ordinals, but I'm still a little bit dry there. So I was excited to see Trevor was doing something. I think he's a smart guy. He's obviously got a good track record. He's in MVHQ and has done a lot of cool stuff with us in the past. Ninja Alerts is obviously something a lot of us use during the bull. For a good amount. For this one, yeah, I was excited. I think the PFPs look solid. Some of them look better than others, but they at least stand out. You can see them a lot on Twitter. I don't really know what the price action is for ordinals, so I can't say if it'll be like a immediate flip or not. But it seems like there was a bunch of people grinding the top 1,000 at least, and I was holding off for a bit because it was a bit pricey. I think it was 0.01 to reserve it on Bitcoin, or maybe even 0.01 and then to reserve, and then 0.01 to buy. So 0.02 total. So I was just worried about the price initially, but I took a waiver on it, and gonna try to mint tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. But love to hear what other people think.
Well said. Yeah. And I'm going to read here. I posted the Lucky Trader article that covers this. I'm just going to read a little bit from it just to kind of give some color, a little bit of context to people. This is a dynamic PFP. Bitcoin Ordinal Pizza Ninjas. An upcoming Ordinals NFT collection aims to revolutionize Bitcoin NFTs and raise the technical bar for Ordinals projects in the future. So it's going to be a dynamic PFP. It's a JavaScript application. Trevor has said that this is PFP as an application. So essentially you'll be able to dynamically resize, have custom animations, and one-click social stickers on your PFP. And beyond that, it will also be able to play classic Super Nintendo games directly from the PFP. So it sounds like they have squeezed an emulator into the PFP, which, I haven't seen or heard of. I mean, we've played games on ETH NFTs on OpenSea and stuff, the Dungeon Adventure and stuff, whatever. Did not think that anything like this was possible with Ordinals, so that's pretty interesting. Any thoughts there?
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. That was kind of like a surprise thing. I feel like he's kept a lot of like kind of the tech stuff under the radar, or just like fun little. It feels kind of like Tesla-y, where it's like you didn't really expect it, but you can like play games in your car and it's kind of cool. But you might not like buy it for that reason. It's just kind of a nice little fun thing on top. And I guess I forgot to mention, like, if you don't know Trevor, he's like a huge Bitcoin maxi, and like I personally don't really love maxis of anything, but if you want a Bitcoin maxi running your Bitcoin Ordinals project, so I feel like he's going to go to the ends of the earth to make this thing succeed just because he loves Bitcoin so much. So I feel like that's a good indicator, at least, that it's not going to be like a slow rug. Like he's going to really work for it, and it's his PFP and everything. So that's another reason I wanted to buy it.
Yeah, that's also a great shout. Yeah, Trevor, MVHQ OG, has been a Bitcoin maxi since the inception of MVHQ. Pre-ordinals, all of that. He's been preaching stacks and stuff like that. Like, he's just always been Bitcoin focused. And anyone that I've talked to outside of MVHQ that has a Bitcoin project, they all know Trevor. They love Trevor. So yeah, I agree. Definitely the guy that you want steering the ship for a Bitcoin project. So great shout for those that don't know Trevor or have the context there. But yeah, definitely a good captain to the ship there.
Here's their website. I'll post it in voice hangout chat, where it gives a pretty deeper dive on how they design these ninjas and other things that include with them. I think one other thing that we had mentioned is that they give access, since they are by Ninja Alerts, hence the name Bitcoin or Pizza Ninja. They give access to Ninja Alerts Ordinals tracking platform and features, which I believe is like a wallet tracker and a portfolio tracker. Unsure exactly what else. I haven't used it myself. So another thing to take in mind in terms of utility on those.
This is really cool. I love the section about the color theory. These are really good colors.
Yeah, I do feel like they stand out. I'm not sure, because I've been seeing them all over for a long time, but I'm also not sure if it's just because of the people I follow, because there's so much MVHQ people in it, since they know Trevor and have known him for a while, and I support the project. And Trevor's also gotten a good amount of people in MVHQ himself, just because he's been an MVHQ maxi himself. So I'm not sure if I'm just seeing MVHQ people on my Twitter feed with these, or if there are pretty widespread across the Ordinals community already.
Always hard to tell, right? Like, how far does the circle extend?
You'd be surprised.
Right. Wish Jinzo was here. He was bringing it up last week. Wanted to talk about it. I'm like, well, hold off. It's for next week's episode. Now he's not here, so we don't have Jinzo and his wealth of information on it. Unfortunately, that's okay.
His ninja looks sick. He's got a really cool one.
One thing that I'll mention, I know absolutely nothing about Ordinals and nothing about this project, but I got whitelist for this somehow. I don't own a Ninja Alerts like ETH NFT. I used to own one in the past, but like not for at least 6 months. And somehow I got allow list for this. So maybe it's easy to get allow list. Maybe I just know the right people, but I did not do anything to get this, and somehow I got it. So something to keep in mind, I suppose. Maybe it's easier to get allow list than people think.
By getting allow list, how did you do it? Because I know you like handpicked some people to fill out the form. And
Like I said, I didn't do anything. I at one point, 6 months ago when this popped up, I might have like signed into the Ninja Alerts like thing and like made an account and connected my Xverse wallet. But beyond that, I didn't do any like farming, grinding, posting about it. I didn't do any tasks. I'm not even in their Discord server.
How did you check that you like? How do you even see where you have a
I got an email about it this morning.
Oh, interesting.
And it's confirmed to be like actual. I found their what is it? The spreadsheet that they posted with all the wallets, and I cross-referenced that with the spreadsheet that they posted on Twitter. So it is actually real. Just something to keep in mind. I don't know what the allow list qualifications were. Maybe I got something somewhere, but just something to keep in mind. It might be easier than we thought.
I think you caught a W there, Raga.
Maybe.
I mean,
But
yeah.
the other thing is it's 0.5 ETH. It's like 0.03 Bitcoin for this thing, which that seems high, very high. But maybe I just don't know anything about ordinals.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, that is some feedback that I've heard is people were worried about the mint price. I think ordinals pumping, specifically node monkeys, I think has alleviated a bit of the stress from people that were complaining about that. But again, I'm not super in the loop there either. I will say I've had a Ninja Alert Pass forever, and I did sign up, and I don't think I did many of the tasks. I think I maybe did one or two. I did not get whitelist, so I think you may have got a W there, Aga.
I posted the spreadsheet with all of the addresses and Twitter accounts and stuff of who got allow list.
Yeah, I also did. I had a bunch of invites and did all the tasks, and I did not get on the allow list as another data point.
Raga scamming the system.
Maybe Blessed got me a little sneak in there. I'm not sure.
I totally feel you though, Raga, because anytime you just like accidentally get whitelist and you didn't try, you're like, oh, well, this is like, you know what I mean? You're like, well, obviously.
Yeah, when I saw the email, I thought it was a scam.
I would have defaulted to thinking that as well. Yeah. Well, hell yeah. Congrats on the whitelist, Raga. Hope you cook, man.
Yeah, Raga, that's a for sure dub. For people who didn't get in like earlier, had some connection in, the standard whitelist process was completing tasks on the Ninja Alert platform and inviting friends. And then the top 1,000 people who got the highest amount of points got whitelist. And then there's a wait list for the top 3,000. But it's pretty sought after, Raga. Definitely a lot of people in MVHQ shilling it. So definitely slightly harder to say than normal mint. But even though it's 0.03 BTC, that's like pretty standard for a lot of mints for hype projects on ordinals right now. There's just not a lot on the pipeline, but I would say the biggest contrast from ordinals to Ethereum is that there are just some mega whales. So you definitely want to look for lower supply projects because obviously if it's 10,000, it's a little bit harder. But, like you said, we've seen Node Monkeys and some others. I know last week there was a project called Rupture that minted out at 0.05 Bitcoin and went up to 0.15 in the day. I think it fell down to like 0.07 now. But yeah, there's people with some deep pockets out there. So for sure, a cook on your whitelist.
Do you know what the supply of this project is?
I have to double check. I want to say it's like 8,000. Could be less though.
So on the higher end.
Yeah, let me just double check though. I don't want to give you any false info. Let me just check a tweet real quick.
Any other mints this week that anybody wants to bring up or talk through here, Jake, or otherwise? open to your all's thoughts here. Anything that you guys are watching or that is hyped up for this week?
Yeah, we should talk about CryptoUndeads. That's another pretty hype mint. It's on Sol. Basically a pixelated, I guess, undead collection. The big thing around that right now is that they have not released any art previews. So there's some fun around that, calling it, possible rug, things of that nature. I haven't looked super into it, so I can't really talk in detail, or I can't claim to have any ton of knowledge around it. But it is very hyped, very much so. That mint's out there. That mint's tomorrow. Let me post a quick link here in PC link dump about the mint schedule for those CryptoUndeads. Yeah, I've been seeing. I asked earlier before the show about whitelist prices because I knew they were a little higher. I remember earlier, like last week, they were going for around like 5 Sol for a whitelist over the counter. I just asked this morning, and Meg and Koffshoff both got back to me, and they said it was around like 15 to 20 Sol for a whitelist right now for these. So they're certainly hot in the streets. I don't know if anyone has more info on these. I haven't really been paying a ton of attention to them, but I know it's one of the hype mints for this week.
Hey, sorry, Jake, just to bring it back to the Ninja Alerts thing real quick, it's 1,500 is the supply.
Yeah, I just do. That's a great prize, Raga. That's an absolute cook.
We love a small supply in the morning.
Yeah, for undeads, like you were saying, Jake, I know the dude is definitely like a professional rebrander. I know he's like an OG proof person, and he's done some stuff like a 1ETH alpha group that he kind of abandoned. He's not like a sus person, but he's very much hyping it up for CryptoUndeads. So I definitely would be a little careful buying secondary because it does seem to be opening really high without any info yet, and I always give caution when founder is really like harping on the price pre-mint as well.
Also, the other two, at least in my mind, the other two projects that feel like similar precedent to that, not to throw it in this group, would be Plague and Bankman, right? Both of which were super hyped up, talking about price, etc., and neither of which really killed it afterwards. Not fudding it, just sharing data that seems parallel.
And also, not right. They haven't really talked about price, but Azuki Elemental is not releasing their art beforehand, and then that obviously didn't work out for them.
Mm-hmm. The one thing they do have going for them is that there's a lot of liquidity on Solana, especially with the meme coin resurgence we've seen over the last couple days as well. So, something fun could definitely run because, like, to be honest, there's not that many quality, fun new projects. And as a lot of us are more ETH native compared to Sol native, we want new things. We don't really want to buy legacy projects unless they have like liquidity events like Tensorians with the token and Mad Lads with the token. So new things are always fun. So it'll definitely be a fun one to track and see how they stand up to their words.
Absolutely. Yeah. Appreciate the extra info and context there, Cough Drop. Very valuable information there. Appreciate your contribution. You brought up Solana Shitcoins, which actually is a fantastic segue to our next little section, our next little bit, which we're going to refer to as What's Burning. Shout out to Jake for the clever name there. So we just kind of want to take a second to just kind of appreciate what's really hot and popping right now in the week. And Sol shitters are definitely topping that list at the moment. So, Jake, did you want to talk about any Solana shitcoins or anything interesting happening over there in that ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I need to say very happy Hat Day to everyone on that topic. THC, especially you. I know you're a man who loves hats.
Thank
Yourself?
you. I take that personally. Appreciate it.
There's also a certain dog who loves hats. I know. Cough Drop's a big fan of this dog as well himself. So glad you're here with us.
Yeah, I've had an interesting relationship with that coin. I said I would retire if it ever makes all-time highs, and I think I said that at like 75,000 or 75 million on the dip, and Jake is like, "Okay, get ready to retire." So I guess I'm owed that.
Sorry, I had to bring it up. I'll stop dogging you on that now.
And now it's okay. I deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a resurgence here in the Soul Shitters. Now that Bitcoin's chopping again, like I talked about after this, the ETF approval, people are looking in other areas, and we've seen a huge pump to WIF. Obviously, it's been all the talk. Twitter and MVHQ making new all-time highs, but also there's a lot of other number of coins that are popping off right now. There's a ton of liquidity over on Sol, and that's kind of where the DGen focuses, it seems, at the moment, is Soul Shitters. There's tokens like Win, Anita Max Win, that's popping off. Shout out, Popcat is another one that's doing well. Fentanyl, I think, is another one that's doing well. There's a number that people are really, getting some nice wins off of. Personally, I think we're still in the heat of it. I don't think it's too late to join the fun. Obviously, shitcoins are extremely volatile. If you're trying to snipe new pairs, there's obviously going to be a ton of rugs. Even on like $1 million market caps, there's plenty of room for shit getting rugged. Brand new coins, right? So obviously, the cautionary, be aware of the potential of risks involved, because there's certainly a ton, but it's also like a casino where the participants are all winning right now, but eventually that'll turn to mostly losing as well. So just be on the lookout. Just wanted to shout out shitcoins in general, and if people have any insights into the matter, any tools they're using. I know BonkBot is still a pretty big one. Probably the most popular shitcoin trading bot on Telegram that people are using. I know there's another like alert one called DGen Dolphin Business where I think you have to buy their NFT up. I think it might be a few Sol, and they got alerts and stuff in their Discord and Telegram as well. And in THC, I believe you said that I always forgot to say their name, Shuriken. I think they just launched their Sol trading bot as well.
Yeah, Shuriken just added Solana yesterday. That's this trading bot that I've been farming for a while. They've announced they have a token and an airdrop and all that stuff, similar to BonkBot or Banana Gun or any of those things. But yeah, they just added Solana, which is pretty hyped. But they had a bunch of missions that were like trade X amount of days in a row. And I had just been burning gas on ETH mainnet to try and keep that trading streak going. So hopefully that applies to Solana. That seems like a pretty low lift, easy farm if anybody wants to go grab Shuriken bot. I'd get on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
No, I was going to ask what everyone thought about Shuriken bot, because I remember when you first told me about it, I thought it was pretty cool, but the more I play around with it, it's like hard for me to like do stuff that I want to do. Like I just can't find the ways to do things. Maybe I'm just like slow, but I don't know.
Are you using Telegram or are you using the web app?
Using the web app.
Okay, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the web app either. I think the first day I accidentally like broke my fucking dashboard. It's kind of like Parsec where you can like move it around. It's like modular. I just completely broke it, and there was no like reset button. So I've been using the Telegram part almost exclusively, and that works just like BonkBot or any of the other Telegram trading bots. So yeah, very very minimal issues there.
Gotcha.
I'm with you though. Yeah, one of the things they offer is like the web app or the Telegram bot, but the web app is just so not intuitive. But yeah, I agree with you there. But yeah, no issues from the Telegram part.
Cool. I did see Slingshot is coming out with a new kind of it's like a sex dex sort of thing, where it's like it feels like a sex, but it's actually a dex. So I've been playing around with that a little bit. It's pretty cool.
Not gonna lie, just hearing centralized exchange pronounced as sex threw me off a little bit. You're like, it's sex dex, man. Everybody's
It's
hop on the
weirder
sex
when you-
dex.
It's weirder when you're saying it and not typing it out.
Yeah. What's that called again? You say slingshot?
Yeah, it's Slingshot. They're the ones that did all the Canto bridging and stuff like that. But it's like a private beta now, but I think we're going to do a mission with them pretty soon. So we should get a lot of MVHQ people access very shortly.
I love Meg talking shit in chat.
In it.
Isn't it, Mom? For those listening in, she says, fucking Jacob sounds so weird.
Dex in it.
I have I guess kind of just like a thesis in general on the ecosystem that I'm hoping I can like clearly articulate. Bear with me. We'll see if I can. But I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it too. It's kind of goes in line with my thesis on WIF and why I like that as a play so much. But it kind of trickles down to all of soul shitters and probably NFTs as well. I'm kind of just thinking, Solana last cycle was not, it was kind of just thought of as like for all intents and purposes and not really, I don't really have a better word for this, but like the poor chain. I don't mean this in like a super negative way, but that's just kind of what people would say, right? But now they've through the bear, they've been through a lot, and I think it was also known as the VC chain too, with being so tied to FTX. But I think with FTX having to liquidate everything, and SPF not being involved in Carolina and Alameda and all of them, I think since then it kind of transitioned to a new narrative of being more for the people than what it previously was, and I think that kind of opens up. That kind of opens up the minds of the on-chain people, the on-chain degens, of wanting to like support Solana more. And with that, they're trying it out more, and they're realizing, oh, this is actually like a really great user experience. I speak that for myself. This is like my own personal how I used to view it, and now how my perspective has shifted. It's just like the instant transactions and the fact that it's just so much cheaper than ETH, and the fact that it's also like it's caught so much of the former ETH degen's attention, and everyone's for the most part tried it by now and is onboarding to it. I think that's just going to continue to carry on. Or all the newbies coming in, like if you just think about like telling your friends, like, hey, you should get back into crypto. Like, what are they more likely to get back into? Are they going to get on? Are they going to go on ETH where the price is like $20 to like $50 for a transaction, or are they going to go on Solana where it's like less than a penny to do like the same stuff, to do DeFi, to do NFT trading, to shitcoins, right? I mean, it's pretty likely that someone who doesn't really understand the tech or doesn't really give a shit about decentralization and all that other stuff, like they're probably just going to go on Solana, right? And the fact that there's just been so much built on there now. There's a lot of liquidity events in favor of Solana, where this upcoming Jupe airdrop, and we saw it with Cheeto was a huge airdrop as well, and then Bonk has been a huge airdrop, and then all the Saga phone stuff, and then just so much more. MarginFi, Tensor coming, Backpack, so much more than that is coming to the ecosystem. So there's just going to be a lot more money, in my opinion, flowing to that. And sorry, I know I'm taking a really long time to get to my point, but I kind of wanted to just predecess it with that. Basically, is what I'm saying is the tension and the liquidity, I think, is going to stay on Solana for throughout the bull market. Like, I don't think this is like a phase, is what I'm trying to say. So I think that leads itself to the fact that shitcoins are likely going to stay on Solana too, right? Just if you're just sending a few bucks $20 on a shitcoin to try it out when it first launches. You don't want to pay double that in a transaction fee, right? You want to pay like pennies each time. So I think it's just going to continue to stay on Solana. The attention is maybe ETH will have some stuff too. Probably will. But essentially, I think with that, the shitcoins are gonna continue to pop off on Solana, and like we've seen with every bull market phase, like there's been dominant meme coins. Like the meme coins themselves aren't going away. So that's why I really like Whiff, Bonk to a lesser extent, and then these other ones that'll ride the coattails up to crazy valuations. Like Doge got to like what 40 billion last bull market. I think to me it seems pretty obvious that the next big shitcoin is going to be coming from Solana itself in this cycle, and that's why I want to divert my attention back to Solana shitters, because it just seems like that's where the money's gonna go. It's where it is kind of right now. The mind share is right now, and I don't see that really changing throughout this bull cycle. Again, sorry for the long rant on that, but I just wanted to articulate my thoughts because I've been thinking about this for a while around the bull case for Whiff itself, and then all the other shitters. So I'd love to hear some thoughts from you guys on that.
Yeah, I think that was very well articulated thought. I just wanted to throw out there for people that haven't participated in the Solana shitcoins and are thinking about getting into it, definitely get a Telegram trading bot. Definitely get BonkBot at least to start with. I was shilling Shuriken a minute ago, but I haven't actually used it yet on Solana. But I know for a fact BonkBot is just money. Like Jupiter sucks, Bird Eye sucks, Phantom sucks. Like all the things that interact with Solana suck pretty bad. But BonkBot just makes it really, really easy. I'm not by any means a fan of Telegram. I think this is probably the only use that I have for it is these bots, but they make getting in and out and tracking your positions on these coins incredibly easy. So yeah, definitely get familiar. I'm sure you could pop in and ask for a referral or check referral links. I'm sure somebody will have a BonkBot referral for you. But they make the experience, that user experience that he was talking about, they make it 100 times better. Otherwise, you just submit the transaction and nothing happens. It's not quite as bad as on Ethereum where you get, a $20, $25 fail. You just never see the transaction happen. So it's kind of a headache when you're trying to trade these shitcoins. But yeah, definitely pick up one of these Telegram trading bots. Specifically, BonkBot is the one that I would co-sign just for personal use.
I just threw in a VC link dump, just our shitcoin chat for people who haven't been in there before. There's a ton of people in it pretty much throughout the entire day, just trading shitcoins. It's a ton of fun. Jake, I really love your thesis on shitcoins. I think what's interesting about shitcoins and just an important distinguishing factor from other projects in, crypto ecosystem as a whole is a lot of the times they are just purely founded by memes. And I say that just because there's not a lot of intrinsic value that'll hold them up. So I think for a lot of them, it is a big game of musical chairs. I think you're definitely right that the top leaders in the space usually hold. With being the great example, it's a really strong meme coin, so it should keep pumping as long as Solana keeps pumping. But we've already seen a few rotations of, the shitcoin cycle where some stuff just dies out. And it really is just like a battle of memes at the end of the day. So I firmly believe that like the stuff that just captivates the biggest IP, if you want to call it that, or just idea space, like the funniest memes, the most powerful stuff that's going to trend on Twitter and cause people to ape into it or get FOMO, that's going to lead. But definitely just wanted to throw out a cautionary warning to people who are aping these giant shit coins. Like there's really not a lot holding them up for 99% of the stuff you're going to see on Dex Screener. So do be careful. We've already seen stuff like Analos, which I think was the second biggest shit coin on Solana for a while at like 150 million market cap, that just fell to 10 million and is kind of just chilling down there, even with Whiff taken off again. So as stuff pumps, I would definitely look at new pairs and new coins. There's a lot more upside to them, but definitely some tasty dips on some older coins will arise. So always be cognizant of that. You don't always have to buy the top, but yeah, great call out, Jake.
Hey, great addition, Ross Boss. Appreciate that. And just if you guys haven't seen it, Ross did a really phenomenal presentation on spotting Solana shitcoins, spotting winners early. You guys should definitely check out the video content section to rewatch that demo that he gave. It was really impressive. Just fully laying out all the tools that you need, the thought process, narrating as he does live trades to work. So shout out to Ross Boss, the legend, for that video there and adding some insight to this conversation as well. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate you guys. This is awesome having this Monday morning.
This is why we do it. Anybody else? Thoughts? Solana shitcoins? Does anybody want to shill a Solana shitcoin that they just bought at a 10K market cap? Right.
I don't have anything to shill THC, but I do want to add one more additional thing. Within the shitcoin ecosystem, there are metas and emerging trends, just like with NFTs, which most of us are familiar with. Like when Azuki first took off, we saw a million different anime meta projects come out. It was animes, it was this. So just keep an eye out with shitcoins, whatever the trending coins are for the day, especially if it's a new one. You'll see a lot of copycat coins, and you can usually expect a run up of those, not to the same extent, but just as like a good example, when Enelos was running, it was just Solana spelled backwards. You saw like ETH backwards and Bitcoin backwards, and just all these other chains with their coins backwards, and those would pump. At the time, Analos had like a 20 million market cap, so you wouldn't expect like a 20 mil market cap out of them. But if you caught them early, you could expect them to run up to like 100K or 200K. So for any shit coins, as we're going through the cycles, if there's a new one tomorrow, I know Jake brought up the win, like Anita Max win. There's already a bunch of like derivatives on that you're seeing. So you can get in and ride those up. It's just really important with shit coins to like understand if you're getting into the OG meme, like the win, that was kind of like the first one that occupied that space. If there's stuff that occupies the exact same meme niche, it's not going to pump as high, but it's likely going to get some traction on the day that OG one is pumping. So just something to be aware of. Watch for news cycles as they form, get in early. And then if you are riding a derivative, I would almost always take profit early. Like those usually don't pump as well.
Great shout. Love it. Yeah. Recognize the meta. Yeah. One token pumping is going to have some derivatives, but yeah, those aren't the ones that you want to bag hold forever. Get in, get out, have targets. Love it. All right. Well, we can kind of wrap up the Solana shitcoin stuff unless anybody has anything pressing. Feel free to interrupt me right around now. We have two more segments here that we want to do. One is just sort of a quick shout out. These are just some recent either time sensitive pings or alpha posts that I've seen that I feel like that's worth calling attention to. The first one is that the Dimension airdrop, there's an addition here. So you could qualify to get some DYM on wallets that you used FriendTech or FriendPet on. So I wanted to give that a quick shout out. I saw some members saw the post and were able to get a bigger airdrop because of it. So just wanted to put a spotlight on that just in case anybody has a FriendTech wallet. They didn't think they were getting any DYM. So you can go and register that wallet, FriendPet as well. And then another just quick one, this might even be a topic of conversation here, but I saw the alpha post about Rabbi wallet, taking a snapshot. I know that we have quite a few I don't want to say maxis, but proponents of Rabbi wallet that have been suggesting it and shilling it to people in here. So I just wanted to kind of sentiment check, I guess. I mean, like I installed Rabbi wallet. I didn't really use it that much. So, just wanted to kind of see if we had any thoughts or speculation as to what the snapshot could be or what the, what is that about? Somebody talk to me.
I was expecting Jacob to come in real quick and start talking about it. But,
we lost Jacob. Yeah,
oh.
Jacob had to step away. I know he's my resident.
I'll stand in as the Rabbi backseat in his place. He got me on Rabbi like a couple of months ago, and I really enjoy it. I one of the things that I like most about it is I find that it has better safety features than MetaMask. It's a lot more. I don't know what the exact term for it is, but it's a lot more like easily readable, like human readable. I think that's like the phrase for it. You can more easily see like what's going in and out for a transaction, what's actually being approved, stuff like that. Like it actually helped save me from a drain. I had clicked on a Twitter, like what those stupid ads that pop up on Twitter. I had clicked on one of those like a couple of weeks ago, 2 a.m. and because of Rabbi and because of their human readable like transactions, it actually stopped me from making that transaction. So I quite like Rabbi. The way that the post is worded, it seems like the snapshot has not happened yet. It was like, get prepared for a snapshot. So maybe there's, somebody could download the Rabbi wallet now and, still be able to take advantage of that if they haven't done the snapshot yet. Perhaps there, is an additional advantage for people who are already using the Rabbi wallet before they made that announcement about the snapshot. And this is all speculation, though. I don't think that they've released any further information on what qualifies you, or even what the potential airdrop could be, other than just seems like they're going to be taking a snapshot soon, so it might be something else entirely. But I'd imagine that swapping within Rabbi, which is actually one of Rabbi's better features as well. I'd imagine that also, if there are things to qualify you for an airdrop, that might be one of them.
Yeah, I will share. Great insight. Appreciate that, Raga. I also wanted to share just quickly, before we started this episode of Jake and Bake, I actually did ask this question to Jacob, and the one thing that he shared with me that is, again, just speculation, but he thought this might have the highest implication for the snapshot. There's a free NFT that you can claim inside of Rabbi. You have to have at least done one swap, but you just open up the wallet, you click the More tab, and then at the top there's a Claim Rabbi badge. It's going to take you to their website. It's going to give you a activation code, and then you're going to paste that activation code into the wallet in order to claim. But again, you do have to have one swap completed for that. So I just wanted to shout that out. Again, we don't know. We're just sort of speculating, but I think it's up to over 100,000 supply now. So seems like we're not exactly early. We're not first, I should say. But yeah, we should at least probably try and get in there and do as much as we can to qualify for whatever the snapshot's for.
Great shouts. Yeah, I forgot about the NFT thing. I think I'll have to do that on some more wallets here. I think, Rabbi's awesome. Honestly, I've been using it as my main wallet for ETH and all the EVM chains since probably the summertime. I did a field report on it back in the summer. If you guys want to check that out, I think it's all still pretty relevant. Just a quick one, just explaining what it is and how it works. But the wallet itself, even if not even to farm the snapshot, I think it's just like a superior wallet to anything else that I've used for ETH and EVM chains. Just the fact that it auto switches to whatever chain you're on. You don't have to you don't have to click on a certain RPC. You don't have to add a RPC into the wallet for each new chain. It just auto has a default one in there for you. It shows your full balance of your portfolio, which I really like in a dollar amount, right away when you open the app, so you know exactly how much USD dollar amount of money you have across every single chain, and it includes staked positions as well, which is pretty cool. And then you can break it down by chain, how much you have on each chain, and what coins they are, and how much those are worth in each chain. You kind of order your wallets too using pins and favorites, which you can't really do in MetaMask, which drives me nuts that you can't edit the order of your wallets in MetaMask. But anyway, one other shout, Ricky Morrow brought it up earlier when we were talking about it in voice hangout chat. But Rabbi is created by DBank, which is a popular Web3 portfolio tracker company, and he said that they have you can mint a DBank portfolio on their site. I think it was around $100 if you want to speculate that much money, and maybe that'll help towards the airdrop as well. Let me see if I can find that message. I'll link it here when I find it. But that was another great shout. Just in general, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the airdrop. I'm assuming it's a token, right? I don't know why else they would do a snapshot. But hopefully it's not like a point system. That might be what it is too, and we might have to wait a little bit. But either way, I would recommend Rabbi regardless, just for ease of use.
Hell yeah. I had it disabled for a long time, but I re-enabled it. And man, yeah, it is like the ultimate couch cushion tracker. It's like every couch that you've ever owned, and it tells you what's in all of the cushions. Like there's so much little stuff buried away on all these chains. You fire up Rabbi one time, and it's like, here's everything. It's kind of similar to Xerion in that way, where it just shows you everything. But this includes stake positions, which is pretty badass. You should add that link that you were just talking about. You should add that to the field report. That would be pretty sick. All right, sweets. Those were the two just sort of shout outs that I wanted to give, just the Rabbi snapshot and then the DYM additional wallets for FriendPet and FriendTech. We can kind of move on to, I believe, our final topic here. We can go as long as we need to. I don't have a heart out or anything, but I wanted to talk about, we did a little bit last week as well, but just these upcoming ecosystems, these L2s and different various things that are popping off. There are two that have been catching my eye in the past, 48 hours or so, that seem like something's happening. So I wanted to at least bring them up to the group and see if anybody has any ideas or thoughts or context or extra alpha or information on any of these. One of those being Manta, which seems like has a date upcoming, a cutoff upcoming, and then also Berachain, which I saw a field report on, and then also saw a post in a voice hangout chat. It was sort of like scraping searches and just sort of traction. It had Berachain as ranked number 1 as like trending for the week. So it seems like people are talking about that one. And then, if we have some time, maybe we'll talk about Yaka as well, which is a launchpad on Say. So yeah, a lot of different things going on. But yeah, Manta, Berachain, Yaka. Anybody have any alpha or information they want to kick us off with here on any of those?
I can quick touch on, I was looking at Berachain a little bit before this, so I can quick touch on, I guess, what it is and why people are interested in it.
Lovely. You're the man.
And this is largely me referring to a field report that Lord Marrow, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, did, I think it was last week, about Berachain. Really good field report. Check it out if you want to learn more. We also have a Berachain thread already where people are chatting up on how to get involved. But basically, it was a community that's pretty cult-like. It was formed from Ohm, which is like the hard to explain Ponzi, but basically it was formed from that, and they have NFT collections that rebase, basically meaning that it doubles in supply with each new collection, and then the former collection holders get those NFTs, get a chance to claim the new NFTs for free. And each one, it's kind of like your normal Ponzi type thing. Cough drop with a nice image there, talking about supply and what those NFTs are. There's also alongside those bears, there's these NFTs called honeycombs as well, which people are speculating on will get a good amount of different airdrops allocated to them. It's pretty hot right now. Right now the mainnet isn't out yet. They just launched the testnet. I believe it was last week, and they've even had to turn the faucet off because there's so much demand for it. So people are really, really interested. I think pretty big cult-like community. They're very meme oriented. They raised $42 million at a 420.69 valuation, which is just hilarious that they're raising money based on memes for their valuation. But that's how it goes. There's speculation, that all these NFTs are going to be part of the token airdrop for Berachain, and I think the new thing that they're doing in terms of why people want to get over there, why they're building their own chain, is they want to do what's called a proof of liquidity model, which essentially boiled down is the block rewards are distributed to people who are providing liquidity on the chain with various tokens like WETH or Bitcoin, and et cetera, et cetera. That's largely what I understood from just doing quick research this morning. It's something I'm planning on getting into more because it seems like it's going to be the hot thing. It seems like there's several opportunities to farm it for relatively cheap, including, taking part in the testnet itself. But would love to hear from others who are maybe getting started on that.
From what I've heard, they will be trying to launch mainnet on 420 this year. And there may also been another raise. I've seen this number thrown around like multiple times, so don't quote me on it, but I've seen it multiple times that they did another raise and the valuation was at 1.2 billion for this one.
Yep.
Which is insane. So
Good Lord.
yeah. I papered the baby bear one. I got one for 4 ETH like a month ago and papered it for 6 ETH. So I wish I just held that because it seems like these are getting bidded up pretty hard.
Hell yeah. Man, that's still a W though. Wow, the prices on these collections are insane.
I'm sorry to interrupt. So these baby bears, they're like the NFTs for this honey and whatever chain, this Berachain that Jake was talking about.
Yeah, all these like what Jake was saying, all these NFTs I guess were distributed to early supporters of the chain. Like Berachain's been around, the concept of it, for 2-3 years now probably, and they are, like he said, rebase. So if you look at the picture I sent, it's like one bond bear technically equals 2 boo bears, and 1 boo bear equals 2 baby bears, and so on. So that's like the price kind of follows that as well. But these are guaranteed to get allocation to their token. They have like a stable coin, and then they also have obviously a real token. So it should be interesting. There's a lot of interest this past week with Berachain.
It was like is it correct that it was like 5% of their token supply? Have they said exact amount that's going to go into NFTs?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure on the specifics yet.
Okay.
Sorry to pile on the questions on you. Would you happen to know anything about the honey jar or the honeycombs?
Yeah, all I know about the honeycombs is that it was a community initiative, so it's not directly linked to the team, but they were like the #1 community on Berachain, so they were guaranteed some form of allocation as well. So I have no idea what ratio that would be, but I know the like Berachain team wanted to reward their top community.
Got it. Understood. Thank you. We're linking these collections here in chat as well. We've got the honey jar and the honeycomb. The honey jar, I'm responding to Scott Coe's screenshot here, which is quite a lot. But yeah, not sure on the specifics there. You guys will have to dig in, do some DD, join the Discord and whatnot, figure out how to qualify for these things.
Hey, can you hear me, Top Hat?
I can, GM.
Hey, Jim. Yeah, the honey jar, and yeah, so this is from what Lord Marlboro sent, and then I swept a bunch around like point, probably the same price as they are at now. They haven't really moved. But just because the founder of that project is so deeply tied into Berachain, like being one of the OGs that came out of Ohm, like Koff and Jake were saying. So they're connected to they run 2 validators, and they're connected to every project, like all of these dApps and protocols. It seemed like the easy mode option to just like you hold it and you get allocation to everything. I spent some time in their Discord. They also have a PFP coming. And it seems like potentially you'll get, it's not confirmed, but that you'll get a token allocation to Bera. Is the speculation.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for the context, the info, and the alpha. Appreciate it.
But it is a very deeply layered Ponzi in there, so there's a lot of info.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And again, we have the Berachain focused discussion if you guys want to chat it up more and learn more and get involved in that testnet. I think the testnets are a good way of, I'm not sure. I can't say for sure if they're guaranteeing any type of token allotment to people who participate in testnet nets, but I know that's a common thing that projects do for people who, as a reward for trying to break their system and helping the team out before they officially launch, is giving some allotment to people for the testnet, and it's usually either free or like super 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 cheap to get involved with. So those are always good airdrop opportunities for those who are looking to do so with very low capital.
One more rumor that's been swirling is possible small Berachain airdrop to TIA stakers as well. They interact a lot on Twitter. The founder, they just posted something 8 minutes ago now as well, quoting TIA. So that's always another possibility for the TIA Titans in here.
Man,
I still need to get my TIA set up.
I was about to say, how many more airdrops am I going to let happen before I finally get some fucking TIA? Oh my god. Just keeps on coming. All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for popping up with the info and alpha on that. It's kind of a weird thing to do as a host. I'm just kind of shooting shots out and hoping and praying that somebody out here is like, oh, yeah, I'm like an expert on this. So the Berachain one worked out really well. I'm going to do it again with Manta and Yaka. I can talk a little bit about Yaka. I'm just kind of following in Ezrin's footsteps here. But Manta, man, I've been seeing it talked about everywhere, and I'm ignorant and oblivious, but I figure somebody in here is probably an expert. Like, oh, yeah, here's literally everything you need to know. But if not, that's totally fine. But anybody in on Manta or Yaka?
Ping Sola for Manta. That's what I've been doing.
Okay,
I can talk about Yaka if you want.
Oh, you're the man. That's why we're here. Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yaka Finance is like one of the first kind of liquidity provider tools that appeared on C, which is obviously getting a fair bit of attention as well. They announced an airdrop. They're in beta at the moment, and just now it's quite simple to do their quests. There's like 4 swaps you have to do and then provide some liquidity, but it's all using testnet C, so there's a few faucets kicking about. That starts getting you some points for their airdrop, and then as well as that, they've got a Discord now where you can write. There's like 4 ways to get whitelist for like an upcoming thing, PFP I think it is, and the one that we've all been doing in the C group is to just basically post a thread about this is what Yaka is, blah blah blah, and then you post your tweet in their Discord, and then they'll give you a role for whitelist. So it takes about 5 minutes, and a lot of us have even just been copy pasting each other's threads in order to just basically get the allocation. So I can link where that is if anyone wants to take part.
There's also they have a Galaxy campaign in which you can get a NFT as well.
Yeah, there is, which is obviously it's Galaxy and it's painful. But I also read somewhere that it was maybe finished, even though it's open. So yeah, I don't know. If you want to go through that, you can go through that as well. But let me post the details.
Yeah, I'll check out the thing and put it in there. But there was only 3,000 of them minted. They had a minting cap of 5,000, but 3,000's a pretty good number.
Yeah, I would say, definitely follow along with what Ezra's about to share. It was a very easy, low lift way to start my morning. It's testnet, right? So it's not like you need any capital up front in order to engage with this. So it's really just your time. And then, the way that our members have kind of condensed the information made it really efficient and easy to just jump in and start going. Also, just copy paste in Ezra's tweet thread was very helpful. So thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
No worries.
But yeah, if you're going the Galaxy route, good luck. Be ready to rip off all of your fingernails and shove needles in your eyes, because it is a dreadful abysmal experience. But good luck if that is the route that you're going, of course. Also, Ezra, your pronunciation of say, am I saying say wrong?
No,
I
you're
feel like
right.
okay. I feel like
Yeah.
half the memes and like the puns don't work if you pronounce it that way.
No, I just got into the habit of saying the wrong one.
Gotcha. Can't break it.
You mentioned Monad. You mentioned Monad earlier. I don't really know much about it, to be honest, but there's a good thread here. That also talks about Berachain from this guy who does pretty good threads on Twitter named Alex Wasey. Posting it here in VC Hangout. I'll post a VC link down too, just so people listening back can find it. And also, basically all I know is that there's some smart people who are really into it. I know they hired the Friendtech guy, Pancake something, after Friendtech fired him without giving him any equity, and he brought a bunch of people over, and all the CT people were super mad that they fired him because he was really good at his job. Anyway, Monad hired him. Then also we had Saigar in from Frame, and Saigar, the dev from Azuki, who created the ERC 721 standard. He's also now kind of influencer dev person. He writes really good threads about breaking down how things on a development side work. And he said he was super bearish when he was in here, or not bearish, super bullish on Monad himself as well. So something to check out. They haven't officially released any testnet yet. I know they have a Discord that you can grind, which is super annoying. And I think they have some elite Telegram chat as well. If you grind hard enough, you get in the Telegram chat. I'm not sure exactly. That's about the extent of my knowledge, but just something to monitor as well. Again, you can read that thread if you want to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, good shout. And Saigar actually brought it up unprompted. I didn't say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" I just said, what are your thoughts on L2s and promising projects?" And he brought it up. So yeah, definitely great shout there. Dude knew what the fuck he was talking about and was singing their praises. So excellent shout.
I have a question, THC, for Jake. Jake, with this being the year of just a bunch of new chains coming out, I know earlier you were speaking on the sticking power of Solana, but as more chains like Say and Manta and everything else down the pipeline that should result in lower fees and faster transactions, what does that mean for the entire crypto ecosystem? And for you as a trader, when you have to look at what gives you the most opportunity per time spent, how do you know how to navigate all these different chains? And do you think there being so many is going to do stuff like cannabilze ETH and Solana?
And I'm not gonna lie, it's something I'm really struggling with right now, because it's just there's so much going on and so much you can farm that seems very appealing and stuff that I want to do, but at the same time that you only have so much bandwidth and you only have so much liquidity to allocate towards these things. It's genuinely hard to know. I think the process is something that's going to be a continuous evaluation of sentiment, and then people who are smarter than me on the tech side, listening to them on what they are super bullish on, and hopefully being able to narrow that list down a little bit. Areas where I see that are starting to really catch on from a liquidity standpoint, because liquidity is where the opportunity is for the most part. Kind of Blast, I think, for example, is going to have a pretty insane shitcoin NFT narrative once it launches, just because there's an insane amount of liquidity over just trapped on that chain, and even when it gets untrapped, people are still going to want to stake it for the Ponzi and the point system. So I think things like that, where if you can identify where liquidity is going and if it's going to stay, and also if this chain is doing something meaningfully different, that really puts it above these other chains, and it's like getting enough attention from people that people recognize it and want to bridge over. I think are probably a couple things that I'm personally looking for, but it's certainly a continuously like evolving process for me where I'm like continuing to reevaluate where I want to focus my attention and rotate, I guess, my plays too, because but I mean, like I said, it's like tough. I'm honestly, it's something that I'm really struggling with right now. I would love to hear other people's perspectives too, if they have like anything that they're really like trying to focus on, or like what their process is for like narrowing down how to allocate their attention and time and liquidity.
I think something for me is just to really not marry any bags yet. Like I want to stay pretty liquid as possible because we've had this crazy pump these last 3 months, but we still kind of see that it's mostly the same people that we interacted with last run around, and we really haven't had that new wave to push Bitcoin up to an all-time high and get a ton of new money on chain. So right now, like I said, I'm kind of playing everything, but I'm holding less moon bags and trying to be liquid, because when that run comes to, hopefully if it comes to push us to all-time highs across the board, there's going to be some things that are just chosen, like we kind of knew Azuki, Moonbird, Bored Apes, that kind of stuff. Like there will be new things. Like basically what I'm trying to say is I think the highest performing assets haven't even dropped yet. So I think I want to stay as liquid as possible till that wave comes, and then just kind of ride the new stuff from there.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, especially like if you think about like Bored Apes of where they dropped last cycle. Like I feel like we're not even to that point in this cycle of when those Bored Apes dropped last cycle, which was like April 2021 or something like that. And it's a good call. It's something I'm certainly working on. I think I talked about it maybe in our last show, but I'm just like trying to focus my portfolio in terms of like swing trades and stuff. I'm trying to get out of stuff and not be such a back holder. That was something that myself, and I know I've heard a lot of other sentiment from other people in MVHQ about just bag holding stuff that we thought was just going to take off because it was our first cycle in NFTs, and it just didn't work. And being, I guess, not as married, like you said, cough drop to our bags, and like for myself, I'm trying to like keep it down to like 5 or 10, short to midterm swing trades at any one time in my position, and then constantly reevaluating those trades and like if I want to get into something new, then I sell off the one that I have the least amount of conviction on. Did I get disconnected? Anyone here?
Sorry, you did not. You did not. Just Stu in here. Yeah. So yeah, great conversation, great thoughts. Do we feel like we've covered this enough, or do we want to go ahead and close things out? Or I guess if anybody has any questions, just in general, just about anything, you guys feel free to drop those in voice hangout chat or unmute here as we come to wrap up the end of this episode. But pleasure having everybody here, and I appreciate all of the community insights and stuff. Everybody jumping in and sharing what they're knowledgeable about. That's what it's all about. Love it. So yeah, we'll give a few more minutes here, just kind of bask in the quietness. But if anybody has any questions or stuff they want to talk about, now's the time.
I think one thing that I'll mention on the topic of like exploring different chains and trying to figure out, which chain is the one that's going to ultimately win, or trying to figure out which ones the winners are going to be. For me, the lens that I kind of look through it as is, in the context of these chains, try to stay within your edge. So like for me personally, my edge is gaming and gaming projects and gaming tokens. And so for me in the new year, one of my things as I was reviewing my last year of trading, and being in this space, 9 times out of 10, if I deviate outside of gaming or deviate outside of my edge, I get fucked. If I try to dabble in shitcoins, or if I try to dabble in this random chain that I know nothing about, I get fucked. But so for me, it's staying within my edge, or staying within the context of gaming as I explore these new chains. So, if I'm trying to get into Solana, I'm looking for, what are some gaming projects within Solana? And unfortunately, a lot of these chains are still so new, and they're still just, like DeFi protocols, and people might not necessarily be making, games on this chain, but that's just my personal example. And that kind of informs my decisions as to like how involved I get in these new chains, if I get involved in these new chains, and like how far I push. So everyone has kind of different niches where they're more experienced and where they have their edge. And I think like staying within your edge in the context of these new chains is a way to, one, get involved in the chain in a more productive way, because you already have some insight going into it. You don't have to like relearn the narrative. You just have to relearn the chain and the functionalities, and some of like the back end stuff. And then I think it also, gives you opportunities to kind of leverage your edge in a new way, and combine narratives. So like an example that I'll give is like Solana, has been a big narrative over the last couple of months, and gaming has also been a big narrative over the last couple of months. And I don't have any bags in this project, but Tatsumiko is a Solana gaming project that I've been following pretty closely. And so like I look for confluence of narratives. So like maybe the chain of the week is, XYZ, and the narrative of the week is XYZ, and my edge is XYZ, and I want to see where I can find the intersection of those things.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Speaking on the finding your edge kind of thing, we all have an edge here in, I think, momentum trading NFTs. We've had such great experience in MVHQ here. So I think everybody should be very, very ready for Blast season. When Blast mainnet launches, it's going to be the first time we've ever traded NFTs on Blur with minimal gas. So Blur should launch like, it should be compatible with Blast. And I think there's going to be a lot of great projects and a lot of meme projects that pop up due to the really heavy dev incentives that they're offering with the Blast token. So I think that is going to be a crazy week that everybody should stay up 24 hours a day for.
Oh yeah, I co-sign that.
Great shouts, fellas. Appreciate it. And Raga, keep pumping my Tatsumiku bags. Appreciate that. Never turn down an opportunity to do that.
What about any feelers on Bitcoin? I know ordinals are getting hot again. They are cooled off a little bit, but the one project I'm excited for is Quantum Cats, which seems to be like the mutant ape to Taproot Wizards, I guess. They're releasing the Cats collection first. Maybe like a Potatoes to a Captain's, more similar to that. So that is, we have no details yet, but the sale is on January 24th, I believe. Anybody have any strong opinions about that project? they got me to somehow do that wizard shower back in the day, so I'm kind of locked into being a community member there.
Community. It's the first I'm hearing about it, but I am furiously scribbling it down in my notes though to dig into later. So appreciate the shout.
I think I'm probably gonna max mint it if it's a reasonable price. We see the Shadows collection came out today, which is a small one from the Forgotten Runes team, and it's a bit under mint right now, sitting at like about 0.18 BTC. It was a 0.2 mint. So hopefully it has the hype die off a little for ordinals so I could get cheaper quantum cats.
It's expensive as mint.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like I didn't do enough research, so I got I didn't mint any, but it was a little misleading. They said they had like a sub 1,000 number ordinal, but it was like a raffle for only one of them. So there were 666 pieces, and only one of them won this sub 1K ordinal, and they ended up raising like $9 million or something off that. Surprised.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at these cats. I admittedly am like behind on the Bitcoin ecosystem. I kind of just had like I can only focus my attention on so much stuff, and I kind of just like X'd out ordinal stuff because it drives me crazy to use. But even though I know there's like plenty of cooks on there, and I'm probably fading Gen Wealth in certain areas, but it's something I need to get back into.
Check out the link I just sent. So Sotheby's is doing an auction, and this lot in particular is the Genesis cat. So it's the only one of one in the collection for quantum cats. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes. So, like, I have no allocation to quantum cats, I wish, or anything. I'm not chilling my own bags. I'm just really excited for it because Taproot Wizards is 2,109 supply project. Quantum Cats is 3,333 unit. And somehow they manipulated the inscription, for lack of a better term, metadata, where these cats evolve over time. They said it's going to be like 4 to 10 times they evolve just randomly. Like, so that's, I guess it's kind of innovative. And if they have some way for you to secure an allow list or mint spot to Taproot Wizards, I think they definitely will have some nice potential value. But if they're doing some cash grab with this, then maybe not. But I'm excited to see the details soon of the sale.
But yeah, I appreciate the shout. But yeah, that one of one area is 40K bid. Looks like it doesn't end for another year or another week.
Yeah, I think it's going to go for about 120,000. Like, I think I mean I'm shilling this so hard, I don't know why, but like I think there's no project that I've heard of yet that has close to the potential of like Bored Ape Yacht Club besides Taproot Wizard. What tweet is this?
He's like, oh no.
You never know, Tonka, if it's good or bad.
The saga, yeah, in the mode. Oh, Fanny too.
That's amazing.
That is a banger tweet.
Well, I appreciate the conviction. I always love to hear the cough drop conviction plays. I'm certainly on my radar now.
Of course. Well, we'll see what the mechanics are of the launch. Could be good or bad, but like,
are they giving a price?
What was that?
Are they giving a price?
No price, no mechanics at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I know people would probably pay 1 Bitcoin for a Taproot Wizard right now for a secured, if somebody has a secured allow list. So these being the secondary collection, we don't know if they're like a Bored Ape kennel dog or if they're a mutant ape. We really know nothing. So that lack of information could eventually screw us or could super benefit us.
Yeah,
going forward. So that's what makes it interesting to me.
for sure. So it's same team. It's same team as Wizards.
Yep, same team. It is like confirmed partner projects, either like potatoes to captains, mutants to apes, that kind of relationship.
I will say it
Perfect.
makes the Pizza Ninjas mint price seem a lot more palatable.
Yeah, and there's you guys said 1,500 Pizza Ninjas, or is there more?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, 1,500.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice supply. I like that. Low.
Damn, I thought it was more than that. Pretty good.
I said more palatable. Fuck, it makes it feel like a no-brainer. I mean, if people are ready to throw, 0.2 Bitcoin, obviously it's different. There's certain levels to this shit, as the cough drop tweet would say. But yeah, like just comparing those two, it's like, geez.
Yeah, like I'm admittedly a pretty big Bitcoin ordinals hater because I think it's stupid and fake and a pump and dump scam, like everything. But I gotta just like admit that everything is a pump and dump scam and fake provenance, but stuff will fly, I think, on this chain in the next year.
Absolutely, I fully agree with you. And I've been fading it, but I also know like I need to get into it at the same time, just because it's the OG. It's the OG coin, right? The Bitcoin. They have so much money over there that they're willing to throw out on stuff. Upside's pretty massive.
All right, fellas. Well, this feels like a pretty good natural stopping point. Obviously, we can keep chopping it up, but we'll go ahead and just cut the recording here and the show, and we'll be happy to see all you guys back in here next week, next Monday at noon Eastern for a little Wake and Jake action. Appreciate everybody's thoughts and insights and keeping this community and collaborative. It's been awesome. Appreciate all the alpha that was shared today. I've definitely learned a lot, came in with talking points, and was educated on every single one of them. So this is fantastic, man. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, a couple quick shout outs. We have for MVHQ, we got a town hall tomorrow. It's tentatively scheduled at 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe, and we're also doing our alpha launch number 3 for our platform that we're building behind the scenes. Should be another good one, expanding on our previous soft launches. That's also going to be tomorrow as well. Tentatively around 1 p.m. We'll have an official announcement here later with official times. So be on the lookout for that stuff. Excited to explore more about not only the platform and the town hall, but also what we got cooking up. We've got a couple other exciting initiatives to unveil in the town hall tomorrow. So be cool to talk more about that. Yeah, you guys, thanks for coming out. I love doing this this show, man. I'm like, this is the second episode so far, and I'm enjoying it immensely. I think it really brings out, I think what we've been trying to do with MVHQ from the beginning, which is, everyone has their own their own experiences and knowledge and expertise on different subjects, and I think being in a community where if we incentivize people to share, if we make them feel comfortable and empowered to do so as well, then they're more willing to share what they're really knowledgeable at, and it just benefits us all in general. And then that just kind of like a cascading effect where other people with other different insights feel like they want to share in those different areas too, and then we all as a collective become more knowledgeable in different areas and able to benefit each other and win together. So that's kind of another one of the points that we're trying to do with the show, and then just in general with all the chats and with MVHQ. So super fun to do it with you guys. I'll continue to be in voice